You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, Marcy is winterizing her goats. Yes, that's a thing. And I am wondering how it's possible that the worst thing happening in Chicago right now is a wave of squirrel murders.
So now Zoom has a new name. It says now Zoom Workplace.
I don't understand why they have to decide what you want to use it for.
I guess you can't use Zoom for fun anymore. You have to use it for work.
They've just told you the word is out.
Well, that means you have to pay me.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot all about that part of the work thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me pay you what I've always made. One
Okay.
potato, two potato, three
Yeah.
potato.
There you go.
Yeah, and a dead guppy.
So is it winter in Chicago yet?
No, it's lovely autumnal. Although it's weird, Chicago's famous for its high winds. And I was actually walking out of a hospital visit yesterday. And the thing about the winds coming off the lake, this hospital, by the way, is right over Lakeshore Drive in the park. And my parents, when my dad was alive, my parents are so nutty. They used to actually come to this hospital and have lunch in the cafeteria because they like the view of the lake. But anyway, I walk out the door of this hospital, and something about the configuration of the building and the door, the fall leaves are blowing around like a cauldron, just whirling like a whirlpool of leaves. If I were superstitious, this is not a good sign for someone in the hospital. When you walk out the door of a medical institution and there's a roiling cauldron of dead leaves, it doesn't encourage you to feel like it's going to be a good outcome.
Kind of Hitchcockian, isn't it?
Yes. Now that you mention it, I should have covered my head in case birds were going to attack me.
Well, up here we don't have leaves because 99% of our trees are pine trees.
Right.
Of different breeds. But we get dust devils. And all I can think about every time I see a dust devil,
Yes.
they look like small tornadoes made of dust for
Yes.
you Flatlanders.
Yeah.
Dust devils remind me of the Tasmanian devil in the Bugs Bunny cartoons from when I was little.
Yes. I could
And,
see that. Yes.
But we got snow. We went directly from, I think we had maybe 3 days of autumn, and it is like in the teens at night here. It's cold.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Life on the mountain. Just snuggle up to your goat.
Poor Kevin. Kevin was like wandering around like somebody killed his best friend. He hates snow. But everybody outside is winterized now, so they can't really complain.
I just want to turn your attention to something I need help with. Where you
All
said
right.
you said you can't complain. Isn't there an Eagles or a Joe Walsh song that goes, "I can't complain, but sometimes I still do"?
Oh, man, you're asking the wrong person for lyrics. I make up my own lyrics. For years, I thought Pearl Jam was singing Don't Pass the Butter Man. and
That's a good one.
and I pictured this giant butter man like from Ghostbusters
Oh,
walking down the street. Don't ask me for lyrics. I make up my own.
now what's the real lyric? I can't even think of it. It's driving me crazy now.
I don't know.
See, the bad drives out the good every time. Isn't it interesting when you are trying to remember something and you have the wrong thing, how much stickier that wrong thing is than the right thing?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So okay. Speaking of stickier, I had my weird
Better man. But
better man. Yeah, better man. Right. So we had a little pause there because the upgraded Zoom workplace probably didn't approve of us messing around when we could be working. Should be working.
you don't think that we're not monitored?
I don't know. All I know.
I think that there's like government spooks everywhere. There's probably in black helicopters on the back of my property right now, just sitting there listening to us.
Oh, don't start with the black helicopters again. Don't start.
We have them up here.
So let me tell you what else has been happening here in our fair city. There's a local news gathering organization, Block Club Chicago, and normally they're really good, but not always. They're not unbiased at all in any way, shape, or form, but they do some good investigative work. Like they broke the story of how a hospital in town that served very, very poor people, the executives had stolen millions of dollars from it. And on top of that, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, they'd stolen a bunch of COVID vaccine and given it to their rich, fancy friends. That was a story. That was the thing they did that was good. But weirdly, this is their headline for today. Someone is killing the squirrels of Rogers Park.
Didn't they only kill one?
Oh no, that's the fancy squirrel that they sacrificed
Home
in
squirrel.
New York. Yeah, the home squirrel.
Oh, I thought that was Illinois.
No, somebody is. I think it's New York. Maybe I'm wrong. The guy had a raccoon and a squirrel and and Peanut the squirrel. But I don't even care about that right now.
Yeah, no. But somebody is killing the squirrels in Rogers Park.
Yes, they're dropping like squirrels. Here is the weird part. And again, I think perhaps we all have these moments in life. I don't know if you've had this moment in life where you wonder, like, what kind of person am I really? What kind of human being? Because I read this and I thought, this is a headline? Someone is killing the squirrels of Rogers Park. And then I thought, and this is an awful, awful thing. Here come all the people. I don't really care if someone is killing all the squirrels of Rogers Park. They're charming to a point, but anyone who's ever had to put a new roof on their house because squirrels ate through it understands.
Do squirrels eat roofs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had a squirrel invasion. They had like a bowling alley. They had like a bowling alley on our house in Oakland. We would hear them racing up and down and building their nest in there. They liked the insulation, and they chewed the wood that's just under the roof that holds on the rain gutter. They chewed through that. And then when we closed that up, they chewed right out through the roof. And then they hung on to the back of the house, which was shingled, and they ripped off the shingles and laughed at us. Like that.
We have no squirrels here.
Because
I don't know where they all are, but
here,
I've never seen
they're
a
here.
squirrel on our property.
They're all
Yep.
here, and they do.
They're in Rogers Park.
They rip your house apart, and they have nasty little claws, and they waste the fruit on your fruit tree. They like take one bite and throw it on the ground. I find them charming to a point, but do I regard this the day before a national election is when we're recording this? And do I regard this
That's their
as the headline story? And coincidentally, just last week they announced that they wanted their subscribers to re-up. So I'm thinking I'm re-upping for paying for an investigation of the squirrel abattoir. That's what I'm doing. I've been very grouchy.
Yes, you have. I think you need sleep. You need food and sleep. That's my prescription for you.
I had a bagel today. It was a very tasty bagel.
Yeah, I had an English muffin. It, too, was kind of tasty.
I wonder
Just
if
kind of.
maybe if I'd fed that woman I wanted to put in a sack, if I just offered her a nice warm toasted bagel. They're vegan.
Question.
Yes.
Aren't all bagels vegan?
No, there are egg bagels. You've seen egg bagels?
Oh, I love egg bagels. They're
Well,
my favorite.
How would those be vegan?
I guess they're not.
Right. And there I have seen, and we're going to hear from the listeners, both of them. We're going to hear from them because there actually are jalapeno and cheese bagels, and there are, God help me, bacon and bagels. I've never
No, I've never seen a bacon bagel.
Not where I buy bagels, but I have heard of them.
Really?
Yeah, there was this thing for a while where you just sort of put bacon in everything.
Well, I know they put them in donuts, which I always went, ew.
I don't eat bacon.
That doesn't sound good to me.
I don't know.
Donuts.
But I mean, if they make Hostess Twinkies with beef tallow, I suppose they could make.
Do they?
They did. You know what's really interesting? You know how they used to just say gelatin in things?
Yeah, now it's horse hoofs, right?
No. I actually saw an ingredient label that said pig gelatin.
Ew.
I don't buy anything with gelatin in it anyway, but if I did and I saw pig gelatin, I think whoever has to take care of the freezer compartment,
so nasty.
they'd be like, there's a bunch of frozen vomit in the freezer compartment.
Oh, that's why I don't read labels. I just eat what tastes good. At this point in my life, if I'm going to die from eating pig gelatin or bird brains or whatever. I just don't want to know.
I
Because,
think
yes, I am a person who's never eaten cheesecake because I don't think that cheese belongs in cake.
uh-huh. It's starting to all make sense. And that's
Yeah.
a scary thought. When your logic makes sense to me, I think I
Yep.
think we've gone far enough. Thanks for listening to the Tory Writers She Said What podcast. Since you've made it to the end, you might want to know that my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, is not only available in print, but now also in complete audiobook form, narrated by me and available on Audible.